Right, I think you're on. Truth, Freedom, and Frank Petrie are here.
Hey Frank, how you doing, brother? Are we live, men? I don't have the comments up right now, so if you're answering, I can't tell. We're gonna go live a few minutes early and try to work out all the kinks. So make sure we got everything working before everyone starts arriving. Stick with us if there's some gaps in the action here for a few minutes, as there is bound to be.
Looks like you got 13 watching.
Well, 13 watching.
16. Comments are rolling in.
Okay, let's get these comments up. Like I said, I was trying to get on early so that I could have everything rolling before everyone got here. Now everyone's here, so let me figure out what I'm doing. Where am I? That's a very old one. Okay, here we go. A live control room. That's probably what I want. That is not what I want. Sorry, folks. Here we go again. Although I'm still 3 minutes early, so... Alright, stream status good. Oh, but this isn't showing me the comments. We got 21 folks with us. Oh, there's the top chat. There we go. Oh, TJ Smith hit the ground running. Revolver and not automatic, Lady Smith & Wesson. I actually am leaning towards Revolver, TJ, and we'll talk about it. Truth and Freedom Desert Eagle 44. This is a nice fire for a lady. Have you seen the new Desert Eagle 357? I am in love. All right, there's Frank. Hey, Frank. Josh Burgeon, hello. Burden is with us. Thank you, David. Troy wants a 500 Magnum. Alexis is with us. Everyone say hello to the beautiful Alexis. Tex. Oh, God. All right, Tex is here. Tex, you're a moderator, so behave yourself. Get your wife a flamethrower. Thank you, Tex. She can cook steak for you, too. Well done is best. I told you we like ours still just barely warm from the lifeblood that just recently drained out of it. How far is a loaded gun from you right now? Oh, gee, Troy, I don't normally like to talk about tactical things in public because you hate giving away your secrets, but it's not loaded. Oh, well. So apparently it's about 20 feet that way. We'll talk about this in a minute. Boski's with us. How you doing, Boski? I don't think we've seen you in a while. Old Doc Sims is here. Hello. Kevin, how are you, brother? You're moderating too tonight, Kevin. Palmetto Paratroopers with us. It's good to see you, sir. Jayus is here. Hey, Jayus, post us a link if you don't mind. If you have one, if you want, post us a link to that patrol academy, and maybe we can plug that a little bit. Palmetto Paratrooper, Oh, 380 Ruger. Hey, Palmetto, that's what I'm looking at, a 380 Ruger. That's not this one. I borrowed this one from a buddy to try it out. This is the LCP. I am not pleased with it. I don't like that pinky flopping around down there in the breeze. I don't know. It's not. I mean, obviously it's a 380. It's controllable, but you know, Moriah's got smaller hands and she's a lady. I'd like her to have something a little bigger to grab onto. So I am looking at the LC380 right now, although it is everything in my power not to do the LCR because I'm just a revolver guy, and I'm a Ruger revolver guy at that. So, and to be honest with you, well, I'll go ahead and throw this out there now so you can all tell me how foolish I am. I really want to get the LCR in 327 Magnum. Not 357, 327. If you're not familiar with it, look it up. It's very, very interesting. Now you can all start telling me why that's a bad idea. And it is actually not a good idea, but you know, it's an emotional decision. Guns are an emotional thing. Let's just admit it. I read something one time about, you know, how women are far more logical when it comes to buying cars, and men usually do like the emotional thing. That's why you'll see an accountant who lives in the middle of suburbia driving an F-350 extended cab dually. And guns are the same way. Guns are an emotional, deeply personal thing. You know, it's silly to even act like they're not. I'm sure for some people they're not, but for me, any of those that man technology, guns, chainsaws, trucks, knives, it's all this deeply emotional, personal thing that, you know, like defines me. It's silly. I only like buck pocket knives. The list goes on and on and on and on. I love Coca-Cola. I'd rather dehydrate than drink Pepsi. What else? I like Milwaukee power tools. I'd almost rather not use a power tool if I had to use a DeWalt. I don't know why. I just don't like DeWalt. I don't even claim it. It's logical. What am I missing here? Oh, someone's they're talking about important stuff. All right. Okay. Palmetto paratrooper got his wife a purple 380 Ruger. Palmetto, you may say later on, I had to scroll back, but would you let us know if it's the LCP or the LC380 or LCP2 or what you did? John Stewart's with us. Good evening, John Stewart. Jayus has the Glock 9mm. Jayus, the older I get, I don't like the 9mm, but hear me out. The older I get, the more I realize the 9mm is the right choice for almost all handgun applications. And this is coming from a guy who swears by the 357 Magnum. But for Moriah, you know, something smaller that she can conceal and carry, I'm thinking the 380 is probably the better choice, you know, just for controllability and if we do end up with, like I said, a semi-auto, which the 380 would be, you know, pulling the slide back would be a little easier for her. Because even this one's, I mean, a little stiff. I don't know. We'll keep talking. I really am leaning towards the revolver. Get a Glock 19 or 26. He's coming from Texan. I'm sure, I can't believe you didn't want me to get a black powder Texas Walker. What is that thing with the lever? Someone help me out. Maybe it's a Colt Navy or New Army. I don't remember. Pretty sure he would want her to have two of them, though, chambered in 45 something or other. Okay, all right, here's Burden. LC9 is only about 2 inches from my hand as I type. By the way, it was an excellent choice for Moriah. And it's that the LC380 is kind of what's leading the pack for me right now, if it ends up being a semi-auto, David. Patty Enlow says, howdy, Patty. A good veterinarian should be able to resuscitate a perfect steak. Mark, I will be stealing that and using that in the future. Thank you. Palmetto paratrooper carries a 38 with hollows in the concrete jungle and a 9mm and snake charmer in the woods, and that's an excellent choice. Although I'm interested in why the 9mm in the woods, Palmetto. I just would be interested to hear it. Glock 26 for Troy. Palmetto says her Ruger's a bit too small for my hand. Tex says one thing I can strongly recommend is, and it went away. Okay, one thing I can strongly recommend is get the same pistol as your wife. That way you and your wife are super familiar with the same platform. You know, I'm going to respectfully disagree with you there, Tex, and not just because I enjoy going back and forth with you. You know, Moriah and I have two different missions. You know, my mission is a little bit farther out than her mission, and her mission is a little bit closer in, or as in close in as it gets. So I would respectfully submit that those different missions would require different weapons. But you know, that's probably open for debate. But in our defensive posture, I would definitely be out front, and I would definitely be engaging targets first and farther away, and far more readily. All right. But we could argue tactics all night, probably, Tex. John Carr says 327 is pretty good. I'd be interested to hear what you think about it, John. All I know is what I've watched and read about it. Anything is better than nothing. Ferdinand Mayer. You're thinking 380, might as well go 9mm, almost the same recoil and ammo. Is cheaper and more velocity. Well, recoil is what I'm interested in, and well, controllability, and being able to rack the slide for her. Burden likes the smaller frame 38 special. My father and I combined our pistol collection. How many pistols do you have, Palmetto? Wolf Walker. Guns, guns, guns. TacticalPatrolAcademy.com. Let's take a minute out, guys. Jayus has sent me information on this before privately, and I checked out the website and stuff, and it looks pretty legit. So TacticalPatrolAcademy.com. If you have the time and the means and the ability, it looks like it would be a really good option for someone who's looking to gain some basic and maybe even some advanced skill sets. I would highly recommend it if you've never had that kind of training and you're having a hard time getting started. That would probably be money well spent. And Jayus looks like he's got a pretty up out there. Okay, and for the lady, in my opinion, would be a 38 special. Well, the 38 special has really got a lot of votes. Snub nose hammerless. Yeah, I like the hammerless, Frank. Cody Farmer, 7694 Ruger LC9s. I'm leaning towards 380 right now. 80 Palmetto Parish. Your wife has the LCP, Palmetto? I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Kevin got Jessica a 380 Cobra Auto, but after we talked in Georgia, I got. Oh, really? You got her the 38? I think I remember us talking about that 38 Colt, Kevin. Well, it's a Colt revolver, but cool. For those of you, we're talking a little inside here. We've met Kevin and Jessica through another organization and got to spend some time with them at a retreat. So if Jessica's good with the 38 revolver, I kind of have an idea for what she could handle and everything, and roll that over to Moriah. Jayus won't let me put a web address in for some reason. All right, Jayus, I don't know why that is. I don't think it lets me. Usually on the regular videos, I have to approve it when they put in a web address for some reason. I don't know if the moderators have the option to approve a message that has a link in it. If one of you moderators wouldn't mind poking around in your options and letting us know if there's a way for Jayus to post a link to the TacticalPatrolAcademy.com. Good evening, Jeff. John Carr likes a Smith & Wesson 624, plenty of power and really lightweight. How controllable though, John? Hey, the Cajun guy's with us. Evening. He likes Glocks. Oh. Okay, Cajun, you missed a little earlier when I was talking about how emotionally driven I am when it comes to most things, man. And Glocks is one of those things. We're going to talk to Alexis here in just a second, too. Stick with us, Alexis. Glocks are one of those things I just have an irrational, emotional problem with. Glocks and AK-47s, any of the AKMs. And I freely admit it's emotional. It has nothing to do with reality or the efficacy of the platform. They just bother me on some basic level, and I don't know why. They're excellent pistols, very, very knowledgeable, very skilled shooters love the Glocks. It's an emotional thing for me. It has nothing to do with reality, but there it is. I cannot envision myself ever owning a Glock. All right, Ken Fannin says, hiya, Alexis T, 380 Ruger. So Alexis, that's actually what we got right here right now. This is the LCP. It's a 380 Ruger. It's been upgraded since this one. Now there's the LCP2, but these can still be had brand new for $200 bucks. They're incredibly inexpensive. I borrowed this from a buddy. It's his everyday carry gun, so I'm grateful that he let me take it. I think he's having to carry a larger full-size service pistol for a week. I love the price. I'm amazed at how compact they are and everything. And actually, we were going to do a video review on this today. And mind watching the comments, maybe, so I don't go.
I'll try. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, Ken's wife bought an LCP and she hates it. Ken, tell us why she hates it, please. I shouldn't say I hate, But this just feels crazy with this pinky flapping around in the air, especially when it would only add, you know, a half an inch to give you a full size something to hold on to. I get it. You know, these things are crazy little pocket pistols. You know, and they're supposed to be as small as can be. I am not a fan of this concept as an everyday carry weapon. I think this is a beautiful option. If for $200, I couldn't afford to just have one sitting around, but you know, if you just had, I don't know, have one in somewhere secure in the car or one in your tackle box when you're fishing or something. I mean, this is a great option for something like that. But for everyday carry, I want to feel like I'm not gonna drop it pulling it out of my pocket, you know. And that's my problem with this LCP, and that's why Alexis, from Moriah at least, we're talking about the LC 380, which is just a little bit more to grab onto. We went to a gun show on Sunday, and she held one up there, and seemed to other tests with flying colors. Walther PPQ is a great gun for a woman. Why the winky face, Chief?
Oh, baby lady's here.
Is Baby Lady with us? WNC Baby Lady. I'll be interested in seeing if you picked the same one that TR picked for me. Ooh, you know what? Now, Baby Lady. Now I'm wondering. I'm wondering if I could guess what Track Rock got for you. I'll have to think about that. That could go one of two ways. We missed some stuff, didn't we?
There's a lot, baby.
There's lots going on.
Yeah,
All right.
I don't know what to. What do you want to?
Okay, Gray Man wants to please elaborate on the 327 power and capacity is interesting. Gray Man, it is extremely interesting. Off the top of my head, I'm not going to remember all of the story behind it. Federal developed it. I don't remember when or how long ago. I think it's a pretty recent thing, and someone can probably correct me on this real quick. I think they developed it with Ruger for some of these lighter revolvers that Ruger was wanting to put out. And the idea is to have less recoil, you know, more controllability out of a lighter package, and still be at least competitive with, they say, the 357 Magnum. I struggle with that idea. So the bullets are about 90 grains, and they're moving at about 1,200 feet per second. And obviously they're just a little smaller diameter than the 357 and the 38 Special. They're 327. I don't know for sure if that's the bore diameter or the bullet diameter. That there's a little bit of a difference there, and some rounds are measuring the different ones. That's why the 38 Special is the same diameter as a 357, but it's a different number because it's measuring a different thing. It's like inner diameter and outer diameter. So that's the idea between the 327 Magnum, and the big advantage supposedly is that it lets you get, you know, a full 6 rounds in a compact revolver that would normally only have 5 rounds. So the LCRs are normally only chambered for 5 rounds. The 327 Magnum LCR is chambered for 6, which is a pretty big consideration, because one of about the revolver is leaving an empty chamber so that the first trigger pull falls on an empty chamber, and then you can just keep pulling the trigger. You know, in a panicked situation, you could conceivably keep pulling that trigger, and that one empty chamber gives you a little safety buffer in case something stupid happens, to make any kind of a big difference in a tactical situation or self-defense situation. And so if you did that with a 5-shot revolver, now suddenly, you know, it's a 4-shot revolver. So if you had a full 6 shots and you left an empty chamber, now you've got 5 shots. So it's not an inconsiderable consideration. Where do I come up with some of this stuff? It's something significant to think about. You know, normally I stray away. No, that's a lie. I'm about to lie to you boys again. My favorite cartridge in the world is the 41 Magnum. Love it. So I was about to say I tried away from. That's like I said, that's a lie. I had to, but I made myself trade my 41 Magnum. In this instance, though, I don't think that the 327 being bizarre or being obscure is as big a detriment as it normally is, because this would be a limited use pistol, and if things went really crazy in the world and we couldn't get a hold of the ammunition anymore, that wouldn't be a major tragedy in this particular instance. So that's why I'm really thinking about the 327 Magnum. Neat little round. I've never had a chance to shoot it. I've just watched YouTube videos on it, and I haven't heard anyone just come out and say it's wonderful. I haven't heard anyone come out and really criticize it, except the Yankee Marshal, and he criticizes everything, and even his criticism was a little muted this time. Texan, you guys are our team. Think family standardization. I would not disagree with that. And if she was shooting 38s that could fit in my 357, you know, that's a thing. I am not ready to give up my revolver. I am tempted to think about getting a 9mm service, you know, semi-auto of some kind. I'm not there yet. I still don't trust this hand. I just don't have great control of these bottom two fingers yet. After I've talked about it before. I had an accident at work, if you're not up on it, and I have a hard time, and it may just be in my head, but if it is in my head, it's either real or imagined, but it happens. I feel like I limp wrist, and I feel like I get a lot of jams with the semi-autos, and I don't have the confidence in them that I should. So, of course, that could just be confirmation bias. I really like revolvers and like carrying revolvers, so it could just be that I'm coming up with an excuse to carry my revolver. I don't know. So I'm not ready to shift to 9mm yet. I would do 38s for her, except you know the light small revolvers are 5-shot 38s. 38s are 5-shot, and a 327 Magnum would be a 6-shot, like we just talked about. You could download or load down or get, you know, some light 38s, though, that I'm sure would be indistinguishable in their recoil. Again, is it worth giving up that extra shot, that extra round for? I don't know. I do agree, though, Tex, normally you want to keep calibers at a minimum. You want standardization and uniformity and compatibility across your whole system. Everything, as simple as it can be, as minimal as it can be. I agree 100%. Burden wants to know, has Moriah ever shot my 357? And no, she has not. And I didn't realize that. She mentioned it to me today or yesterday.
What?
That you'd never shot the 357.
I never shot anything but that one.
That one 410.
Mm-hmm.
The infamous 410 video. Jimmy D's not with us.
Yes, he is.
Oh, is he?
Yes, been with us. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jimmy. I didn't know you were here.
Sammy's here, and
oh, Bill's with us. How you doing, Bill? Ashley Lawson, if price isn't an issue, 8mm and Sig 938 seems like you know, Ashley, someone else talked about the Bursa with us recently, and I'd forgotten about the Bursa, but the Bursa is a good option. Jimmy D, it's not for you. You weren't listening, Jimmy. It's an emotional thing. It is for me. Wolf, I'm sorry that we're buffering. I don't know if it's our internet here. I know the video quality is usually pretty bad on our live streams, and I apologize. Okay, Rob, right, reminder of the rallies at the Capitals this Saturday. If you want to give us more information, we'll throw it out there if there's a website people can go to, but there are rallies this Saturday in state capitals, Second Amendment. There needs to be lots of folks there. We're actually planning to do one. Me and the prepper librarian want to put one up here in our little town, just a little Second Amendment rally, and try to turn out a couple hundred people here locally, but we'll probably do it towards the end of summer, just to do something. We don't know what else to do. I'm not going to be able to get down to Atlanta Saturday, and to be honest with you, well, I'm not going to be able to get down to Atlanta Saturday, and I'll just leave it at that. This is something I would go down there for, though. It takes a lot to get me down to Atlanta, but that one and the pro-life rally, I think, is last reasons why I went to Atlanta. I don't try to go there very much. Never, ever, ever leave an empty chamber, and always, always, always carry chambered. That is a debate, Palmetto, and I know there's people on both sides of it. I tend to be on the side of an empty chamber in a revolver is not a huge compromise. I agree. An empty chamber on a semi-auto is death, because you will forget to, you won't rack that round probably in a stressful situation. There were, every once in a while on Civil War battlefields, they'll dig up an old Civil War rifle that has been loaded. The soldiers freaked out in the battle and just kept loading. And so they'd load one round, and then without firing, they'd freak out and just load another round. And they would load all these rounds on top of each other and just never fire because they'd been trained over and over and over and over and over again about the loading and not so much about the firing. So in a stressful situation, having to rely on racking that slide is a really iffy situation. With a revolver, you just, a double action, obviously. You just pull that trigger a second time and bang. And that's highly likely to happen just from sheer panic. Bang, you pull the trigger multiple times. But I do know there's a debate on that. I happen to fall on the side of, especially with people like a mother or a wife who's not going to maybe live and breathe guns the way that most of us might, that's a viable option. All right, where we are. My Cajun guy, his girlfriend has a Model 38. That is a beautiful revolver, but is interested in looking for a semi for more capacity. My wife liked the Taurus Millennium. She's not getting my Beretta. Burden, you have multiple LC9s? Do you like carry them both at the same time and do the double-fisted thing? Because if you do, that is awesome. $330 is not a bad price. Boski, let her hold the Beretta PX4 Storm and have its barrel rotation explained. I don't even know about its barrel rotation, Boski. You'd have to explain it to me. And Frank's going to get hand cannons. Big bore hand cannons. Ashley likes the Bursa. And the 32 caliber revolver. I got to be honest with you, I never thought about the 32. And I hadn't even considered it up till now, Ashley. We're in Georgia, Rob. Speedy answered. Thank you, Speedy. Track Rock is with us. Track Rock, it's good to see you, sir. If anyone gets a chance to say hello to Track Rock, he is one of our absolute favorite, I'd say people, period. He came on early on, and neat guy. We got to meet Track Rock in person. Track Rock, are you guys still trying to sell that property? If you are, we'll mention it here in just a second, give it a brief description. If it's still for sale, he's got a neat one. Okay, actually, so Track Rock, when Baby Lady first, you wanted to see what I was thinking, or what you got her, I was thinking a hammerless, I wasn't thinking the Lady Smith, but I was thinking a hammerless 5-shot Smith, or you went real, old school and got her like a Colt Commander, one without that small officer Colt. I wasn't sure which way you went, but I was pretty sure it was going to be one of those classic options. So I'd have been close to right. I'll tell you another story about Track Rock, folks. He sent us a picture. He didn't send it. I believe Baby Lady sent it to Moriah. They're friends, and had him standing in front of his corn. I think this was last year. And Track Rock's about my height. This corn was 3 times his size. I have never seen corn this size. It looked like a bamboo jungle. I mean, I expected to see Viet Cong come out of it or something with, Rambo was going to walk out with an M60. Tallest corn I've ever seen. And it looked like, it was planted an inch apart. As thick and as tall as I've ever seen corn done. Man he doesn't have a green thumb, he has green elbows. Like this whole part of his arms are green. It's amazing. Although he promised to help me with my fruit trees, and he hasn't done it yet, so I'm still waiting, Track Rock. I need help with my apple trees. They're actually blooming this year for the first time. They've got blooms on them, so maybe just you being there and remarking on them got them going for me. Hey, Jimmy D. Yeah, someone else mentioned the buffering too. I'm afraid it's probably our internet down here in the valley. Kevin's got it too. I appreciate you guys sticking with us. I understand if that's too annoying and you just can't deal with it. Handgun should feel good in your hand. Yes, they should. There you go, Doc Barr. Of course, 7.62 by 39 AK pistol would be an excellent starter for her. I agree. Alexis is listening. Thank you, Alexis. I don't even know what to say about that, Doc. if you watched any of our other videos, you know how I feel about the AK. It bothers me. Jimmy D, we need to get Zach faster interwebs. Yes, yes, Jimmy, and we need to get you, replace your dinosaur shin bones too. Hey, SC Prepper, I looked at that Kimber subcompact at the same gun show on Sunday, and that was a beautiful piece of machinery. Did I move out of the camera? That was a beautiful piece of hardware. A little out of our price range, but it was gorgeous. All right, Kenneth chooses to carry in an empty chamber. I think it's called Israeli carry. Now, Kenneth, is that with a semi-auto or a revolver? Oh, someone said something about Kevin Puryear. You retracted your message. Did you break discipline there, Kevin? What happened?
You're asking about the property. I don't know. Maybe you can put an email address.
Oh, I see. Palmetto Paratrooper says her first ever take carry should be an M2, a Mark 19, or a 240 Bravo. I vote for the Mark 19, Palmetto. Isaac likes his M&P Shield 9mm. I have a friend, Isaac, who I work with, who he likes his M&P Shield a lot. Get the Lady Taurus 709 Slim. Kevin, we're waiting for Track Rock to tell us that property is still available. If he is, we'll throw some information out for you. Alexis and Tex are talking. What's the T stand for in Alexis T? Alexis, is it Alexis Texas? Alexis Texan? Should we introduce you to Tex? Mark Galen 38. A judge would go good with her 410 shotgun. You know, Mark, you laugh, but the circuit judge, I think, I like the circuit judge. Okay, Jimmy D, I think you're telling me you don't like the empty chamber in the revolver. Bill is not getting any buffering. That's good. No, Jimmy's got bad buffering. Speedy's wife had a 38 she started out with. Your wife shoots 357s. And Kenneth does carry an empty chamber on the semi-auto. Would you mind telling us your reasonings for that, Kenneth? Frank Petrie carried my 38 4 years with 6 rounds in it. It does have a heavy pull, 2 pounds in it, double action, had a leather holster. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with carrying. I carry my revolver with all chambers loaded. Moriah's always got the children with her, you know, and they're trained. They know not to touch guns. We're adamant about it. But you'd like to have that option of putting an extra layer of protection in there, and it's not something you even have to do all the time. That's the great thing about it, you know. If you're going to carry an empty chamber with a semi-auto, you have no choice but to always carry an empty chamber. Well, I'm sorry, that doesn't make any sense. But you know, with the revolver, it's easy. You take one out, put one in. What do we got? Keltec PMR 30. Hey Joey, how you doing, sir? My brother's with us, guys. One of the 3. I'll tell Josiah hello. I'm trying to talk him into. He's getting married in July. June. I'm sorry. I wouldn't have been there. And he's marrying this beautiful woman who we love, but I think she's a little askance of the Revolting Man. I'm not entirely sure she's 100% approving of the Revolting Man. So we're trying to get Joey to do a video with us, and Joey used to get. And I kid you not, I mean, this was a real thing that I've seen happen. People would ask him if he was Justin Timberlake. He used to get confused for Justin Timberlake. And he's getting married, and I thought it would just be, and we banter. We have a great banter. I'm a little bit better at it than he is. I'm sorry, Joey. I'm just going to have to take the banter thing from you. And I thought it would be great if after the reception, if we were in our tuxedos and we maybe still had a glass of wine or something, and we sat down and we shot a video together bantering. He tells me that is not possible. He has plans for after his wedding reception. I'm not sure what those could be. I'm sure there's something that I don't know what would be more important than sitting down and making a video with your brother, though. But Joey is not going to shoot our Rat Pack video episode with us. So and you know what, I was really hoping maybe there would even be like a piano there in the reception hall. Joey plays, and you know, he could do we could really do a Rat Pack thing, you know, a little Frank and Dean Martin, you know, a Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin thing would have been great, but he's not up for it. So we'll have to do something else together. I think we're going to talk about why 3D printing has made gun control not only immoral but impossible. But we'll see. He's kind of in that whole industry, so he knows a little bit about it. What have I missed here? Anything? Okay, Joey wants. Why necessarily the Caltech PMR 30? By the way, Joe. Kenneth says he carries his empty chamber for personal safety. If you want an empty chamber, the safety could fail if someone gets it from you. So if someone snagged it from you, they've got to cock it too before they can use it against you. Mark Galen wasn't making a joke. I was serious. All right, Mark. Actually, I know people who like to judge for carry. I've been looking at a circuit judge lately. My wife got a judge. She seems happy with it. Does she carry it on a daily basis, or is it, you know, for around the house? Rat Route, Taurus PT 111 Millennium, 12+1. Has Track Rock said anything about that property yet? Track Rock, if you're still with us, just let us.
I hadn't seen it yet.
Okay. Okay, Taurus PT 111 Millennium 12+1 with stainless steel slide and 2 mags, $220 subcompact. I like mine a lot. That is a lot of gun for $220, right? Bill says, don't let her shoot the SIG P238. She'll fall in love, and then you're out a pile of money. Yes, I had a SIG. It wasn't even a high-end SIG like that, and I liked it. It was a nice pistol. Ken, you should check out the 44 Special if you're stuck on revolvers. Recoil impulse not as bad as 39 Special, and ballistics near 45 ACP at self-defense ranges. Oh yeah, 38 Special. That's what I figured. Chief went and picked a 9mm that I can slide the rack one-handed on my pants. So I'm assuming you just are able to push it down and it snags enough on your pants that it racks. That's an interesting one. All right, Mark is talking about, someone had mentioned earlier that it may have been Ken talking about Israeli carry. He is saying it's actually called the Mossad draw. The reasoning, and Mossad is the Israeli, is it the Israeli Special Forces or the Israeli Secret Service? Their reasoning behind it is the multitude of pistols the Mossad carried made it easier to just leave any safeties off and an empty chamber. Infidel, 5.56. I like this guy already. Beretta 21A and 22 long rifle, awesome carry gun. I actually agree. I've held that one. I haven't got a chance to shoot it, but I like it a lot. Joey's trying to negotiate with me. Wow, Joey just normally makes announcements. I can't believe he's trying to negotiate. Bonfire, whiskey, guitar. Does that work? Well, Joe, I'll take what I can get. We'll just put it at that. How about rat root? Bill likes your Taurus rat root. Rat Route says, just say no to empty chamber carry. Frank does not like an empty chamber. Oh, Joey, 30 rounds, effective round for close quarters, light, hardly any recoil. How concealable is it? Is your sister-in-law gonna be able to carry that and a baby and a diaper bag and whack the 3 boys when they need it? Maybe she could whack them with the Caltech. Mark Galen 38, but I personally way prefer revolvers. They look cool. They are so very reliable and operator friendly. I love revolvers as well. And actually, you know, Mark, as much as is Cajun still with us? I hope I didn't insult him with the whole Glock thing. As much as I dislike Glocks, Glocks really are a semi-automatic revolver. If you think about it, you know, double action only, just simple, reliable, ugly, unergonomic. All right, I'm sorry. Kenneth Risner, yeah, hopefully seeing as a lot of guns are a little different, the gun grabber would be confused. King David likes his M&P 9mm compact. Kenneth Risner, I had a 2240 SIG. If I remember correctly, it was the one that the French military was using as their service sidearm at the time. I got a lot of jams out of it. I'm pretty sure it was that was the gun that convinced me I had problems with my fingers. But I really liked the way it felt. I liked the way it carried. When I wasn't having jams with it, I liked the way it shot. Mark Galen, she takes it in her purse daily. Mark, are you talking about the judge? Your wife carries the judge in her purse daily? She won't tell me what happened, but she got a scare at school a little while ago. Her son got her an SCCY when they were on sale between Christmas and Thanksgiving. So is she carrying the SCCY then daily? And King David, no luck. Infidel 556, Glock 43 is an awesome gun. Not a huge Glock fan, but love the gun. Also Smith & Wesson Shield. Hearing a lot of guys like that Shield, Infidel. Yeah, the magazines, you know, here's the deal, guys. And a lot of what I think about is every scenario, and that maybe doesn't apply so much to Moriah's gun. But for me, for general purpose, magazines are a real problem because, you know, like when I was in the Marines, you would constantly lose in magazines. And of course, we had infinite resupply in the Marine Corps. You know, they would literally fly a helicopter out to where we were at and drop whatever we needed on our heads. You don't have that if things ever went really sideways. And magazines are expendable. Literally, when they first designed removable magazines, the whole idea was that they would deliver your ammo to you in magazines, and you would just drop them and leave them and reload, and you wouldn't even retain them. So they're literally originally designed to be expendable in a long-term grid-down scenario, which the older I get, the more I realize that is unlikely to happen, unfortunately. But if it ever were to happen, magazines become a major weakness. The gun itself, the semi-auto pistols, actually has fewer moving parts than most revolvers. You know, the revolvers have several springs in all kinds of different places and quite a few moving parts. The modern semi-automatic revolver is a marvel of simplicity. I mean, it's just beautiful in its design. But this is the weak point. The magazine is the weak point. You know, if something's going to go wrong 90% of the time, this is where it's at. You know, you might only have 2 of these for a little pistol like this. You know, you might only have 2 magazines. One goes bad, you lose one. Suddenly, you've got the world's most inconvenient single shot, second most inconvenient single shot. So, you know, do with that as you will. I am not saying revolvers are superior to semi-autos. There's clearly no way that 6 shots, everything else being comparable, a comparable round, 6 shots of a comparable round is never going to be superior to 13 shots of a comparable round. However, we don't all live in the perfect tactical world, and sometimes compromises have to be made for reliability and sustainability, because logistics is everything. Okay. The Baby Rock 380 is a nice little firearm. I am not familiar with that boiler room. Is that a Rock Island Arms pistol of some kind? Josiah, the Taurus Curve 380. It's extremely concealable, good round, and so far great reliability reviews. I still can't believe you haven't, you know, suggested James Bond's gun. Was it the Walther PPK? That's just more your style, Joe. Da-dun. HK Compact 9mm is very ergonomic, reliable, nearly invincible, proven, and $800. Soggy cheeseburger incident, and I didn't mean that to be dismissive, Ashley. You're right, they are superb pistols. One of our other brothers used to have an HK USP that I had. He ran into some money problems, and I had his HK USP for a while. And it was a nice revolver. Listen to me. It was a nice handgun. It was a 45. I'm about to make some more people angry. I'm not a giant fan of the 45, but that was a nice pistol. It was, in my oh so humble opinion, at that time that would have been about 2000, 2001. I believe it was still a $1,000 gun back then. I'm not sure what they are now. I did not feel like it was a $1,000 handgun though. Okay, yeah, Mark was saying she carries the Judge. That's impressive. She carries that Judge in her purse. What does she load? I'm assuming she's loading the 410s instead of the 45 long Colts. Are they I mean, is she shooting slugs out of that, or is she going with some buckshot, or what's she loading that up with, Mark? All right, Kenneth Resner. Okay, here's the thing. The SIG I think is the 220, about half the price of the high-end SIGs, about $400. And some units of the U.S. military has used them as well as some foreign. Yeah, I think what that one is, Kenneth. If we're not talking across each other here, and if I am, I apologize. I think the 220 or the 226, whichever one it was, it probably was the 220. There was some differences on the lower on mine. So the one I had the same slide and the same barrel and springs and everything, but the the lower part of it maybe was polymer, or there was a difference there on the lower. Maybe the slide rails didn't extend the receiver or something. I don't remember, but there was some difference between that and the slightly more expensive one. But it was in the $400 range, and at that price was an amazing pistol. King David says she needs the M&P C9. I will look into it, David. I do not recognize that one, though. 6-hour 226 and 228 mags will fit the Taurus PT 111. That's significant. Paul Williamson's with us. Mr. Williamson, I don't believe I've seen you around in a while. Yes. I just tuned in, so sorry if this is a repeat. My primary carry is a Beretta Nano. No one has said Beretta Nano yet. No one has said Beretta Nano yet, Mr. Williamson. But for most, I'd recommend a Ruger LCR in 9mm. Ammo is cheap and it will always be available. So we were talking about, here's an LCR I borrowed before, Mr. Williamson. I am not pleased with this free pinky down here, and I won't go into all this again. So we're going to go a little bit bigger. If we go this route, it would be the LC 380. I think I could still be talked into the 9mm. We're going to go up to Saturday. If Palmetto State Armory up in Greenville stays open past sundown, we're going to go up there and look around. I have a sneaky suspicion they probably will not be open that late, though. But Saturday's the night when we have free to go test, to go if they are open. I hope to be able to make up my mind for sure Saturday night if Palmetto State Armory's open. But like I said, I'm doubting they will be open that late. But we'll try. I'm hoping they've got a bunch of these for us to try out. Boiler Room says yes, that is a Rock Island. I like Rock Island. Rock Island is the company that changed my mind about the 1911. Yeah. No, I'm not also a huge. No, let me take that back. I love the 1911 design, but I grew up in the 80s and 90s when 1911s were $1,000, and it's 100-year-old technology. And at that point, they hadn't really started turning them into race guns yet. I mean, we're talking about the 80s and 90s, where they were still pretty much just 7-shot 45 ACP, government model 1911s. They're $1,000, and I was like, how is this? Now that like Rock Island Arms, I think is kind of the one who is the first one I noticed it in. They started making, that 1911 government model, which is a great handgun, reliable as can be. Kind of like the Glock. It's sort of a semi-auto revolver. They started making it at a reasonable price. Suddenly, I love the gun. So Rock Island Arms saved the 1911 for me, and now everyone makes a reasonably priced 1911, and it's a great option. But for those of you who were around back in the 80s and 90s, back me up on this. You couldn't. It was like an AR-15. You couldn't find an AR-15 for under $2,000. 1911s were $1,000, $1,500. USP. Ashley's talking about the USP. What's that? This is concealed carry, Boiler Room.
William Stanley was also asking if I was going to carry it on my waist.
Do you want to talk about where you think you'd carry it?
No, where I could carry it.
So here's my thoughts on this, and this may be the Marine in me talking. We don't have a good feel for where she's going to carry it yet, and we probably wouldn't make that information public anyway. We would probably not put that out there. I will say this: she doesn't carry a purse, and obviously for a number of reasons we don't want it in the diaper bag, which she does carry it frequently. So that is still up in the air. It will be concealed carry. I don't want her carrying open or very open. So we got a couple of things. My thought process is we're going to pick the pistol that works and then find a way for to carry it, rather than fit the carry to the pistol. That may sound backwards. Again, I think that's the Marine in me talking, but there it is. That's the plan right now. One of the reasons why I think I want to pick a gun I like is that then if it doesn't work, then we have to buy a second gun. But I've got the one I like. So I don't know. That may be a little self-serving. The Anvil says the Witness is snappy but not a heavy recoil. I'm trying to remember what the Witness is, Anvil, but I can't. The 10 millimeter in a 1911 frame is not the best. No. Great for a man. Great hunting gun. Great bear gun. Maybe not concealed carry for a lady. The music well. Eating at the PC. Been in the garden all day. Cool, music well. Been at the PC. Eating at the PC. What's the PC? The LCR. Now, I don't know about the LCR2. I'm pretty sure it is also double action only, but this one is double action only. It is hammer. It does have a hammer, though. It's a concealed hammer. I think Ruger's doing that a lot these days. I think the Service 9 is that same way. Burden, you can tell us if your LC9s are that way. I would, though. Beretta Nano 2 Snappy. A left Taz. I have gone through with my white guns. They all chose 3. One Springfield 9mm subcompact or XD9, Glock 19, Taurus 38 Special. Burden really wants us to get a 9mm, and I put a lot of stock in his opinion. Kenneth Reisner says Rock Island Corps in the Philippines. I did not know that. Hello, First Class. Ashley, you have superb taste in weapons. I mean, you also must have won the lottery, but you have superb taste in weapons. Kevin says every 1911 he's ever owned has been nothing but trouble. Nobody throw bricks at Kevin. He's stepping on sacred cows out there. Infidel 556, which is a great name, by the way. I am more of a fan of a 22 long rifle compared to the 380 and 25 ACP guns. I have thought about the 22 long rifle, especially in a revolver. I think there's a couple of the 22 long rifle revolvers out there that have more than 6 shots in them. Well, Joey just said something, but I missed it.
Well, we were way back.
Oh, we've lost a lot of stuff. Okay. Josiah, concealed carry weapon cannot be all things for all scenarios. If you are prepping, then concealment isn't a problem. But if Moriah wants to be able to get groceries without being hassled by cops, concealment is key. Yeah, that's pretty much it, Joe. Just when she's out and about. First Class does not like 1911s. I cannot believe this. I remember a time when no one in their right mind would ever... The ghost of Colonel Jeff Cooper would rise up out of the ground and he would slit your throat with the slide of a 1911 if you dared criticize the 1911. Okay, Baby Lady tells us the property is still available. There is a really neat piece of property here in northeast Georgia. It's about 25, 30 miles away from us. I believe, Baby Lady or Track Rock, correct me if I'm wrong here, it's 45 acres. And I believe there's some buildings on it. If you guys want to put any details out, we will repeat what you say. If you don't want to put out anything, obviously no pressure, but if we can help, we'd like to help. So y'all decide what you want to do. And I would even put a video up about it if you guys wanted to put it out on the channel and see if anyone was interested in it. The prepper dating service never worked very well, though, so I don't know what would come out of it. But it would be fun for me. All right. The Anvil says around here, ARs were about $1,000 in the 80s, but that was when $8 an hour was good money. Yep. Joey had something that I missed.
It's still
Okay, it's still coming. I'm sorry we're so far behind, guys. I got off on a rant, I guess. Cajun guy, is there a range near you that you can feel for several different kinds? No, there was a rental range in the town over from here, but they've closed. I have heard they're going to open back up. But other than that, all we've got are the national forest ranges. All right, Ken says check out Smart Carry. We will look at it. Hey, Anvil, you mentioned the CZs earlier. I am in love with the CZs. My favorite semi-auto pistol I've ever shot in my life was the Baby Eagle. They call it the Jericho now, I think. And it's an Israeli refinement on the CZ75. The gun aimed itself. I mean, you picked it up in your hand, and it was like the Terminator, you know, it just went, and suddenly it was aimed, and it like molded. It was like the liquid Terminator, where things just in his hand just sort of melded into a weapon. That was that Baby Eagle, and it just shot as smooth as butter and incredibly accurate, and it just pointed naturally. It was just great. Okay, Baby Lady is telling us ideal prepper retreat. The house is 2,780 square feet on 48 wooded and very private acres. It is in Royston, Georgia. She put the address in there. Want more information than that? If she doesn't put any up here, get in touch with me, and I will find out how to put you guys in touch with them or their real estate agent, one way or the other. I can tell you this: I haven't been to the property personally, but if Track Rock was in charge of it, it is spectacular. Okay. And 48 wooded acres in Royston. Royston is it's an agricultural area. It's up here in northeast Georgia, so like we're right at the base of the mountains, and Royston's kind of like right at the base of the mountains. Beautiful area, a lot of creeks and streams, good hunting down there, decent sized deer for this area. You would most likely not be disappointed. The neat thing about Royston too is it's got like, it's secluded but has great access, and I don't want to. There's a major four-way highway that gets you close enough to make it easy to get there, but not so close to make it easy for anyone else to find you. It's kind of in a lot of sweet spots right down there, and property taxes are very reasonable in Franklin County as well. Zach, remember when the Marine and you wanted to dig a root cellar? Ouch, man! Why are you digging up my failures? Actually, Joey, I was out working on the root cellar this evening right before I came in here. I am making the forms on my usual timetable, which means I stare at the forms more than I actually work on the forms. But the next stage is started. We've declared the digging phase over. There will be no more digging. Now we are building the forms, and the forms should be done. Your oldest niece needs a bookshelf, so I'm going to make her a bookshelf on Saturday. And I have to install a shower in the extra bathroom. And as soon as I get the shower installed in the bathroom, then I will be back full-time on the root cellar. So the root cellar is still coming.
We got a lady, Sweet Liberty.
Sweet Liberty. Who, it's a tiny little picture, but looks like she is very sweet. How about a Smith & Wesson Shield? That puts you very much in the majority, Sweet Liberty. A lot of folks have been recommended that shield. Is that what you carry? Moriah's never carried before. We would be interested in a woman's opinion. So tell us what you think and know. Okay, Mark Gale updating us what his wife carries in the Judge. She loads the Winchester PD X1 410 Defender, or she loads Hornady Critical Defense Triple Defense. And then when she's working in the woods, she loads 45 Colt hunting loads. Wow. What's she do in the woods, Mark? Infidel 9mm is my choice for carry caliber. And if I was choosing for me, a semi-auto Infidel would be mine as well. 22 mag. Now, Aleph Tav, I hope I'm saying that right. I had thought about the 22 mag as well. My dad has a full-size 22 mag. It's got like a 30-round clip in it. Interesting weapon. I haven't got to spend any time with it. I should go borrow that from him. We should do a video on that. But neat concept. 30 rounds, 22 mag. That checks some neat boxes for a whole different topic. But we may look into that for some other stuff. Alrighty, where are we at? Pricing issues is why I suggested the Versa 380. Yeah, no, you're right. Actually, the Versa is an excellent choice at a good price. Adam Halliday. Hey, Adam. They got the Taurus G2 P2 111, pretty damn good pistol. It's a budget pistol, like 250 brand new 9mm 40. Yes, and I believe several people have suggested that. I think maybe Chief did. Chief Likeable. Chief, I haven't heard a joke out of you in forever. What's going on, brother? 9mm for sure, and keeping it simple by having both me and the wife with the same caliber. Yes, I like that concept. Frank says the 25 ACP and 32 Smith & Wesson are expensive if you can find them, and I haven't seen them in years. Jimmy D. Jimmy knows his guns, guys. Keith Kilby. Okay, so two things. I think I recognize that name, and he says hello from North Georgia. Hello, Keith. Keith Kilby. Why would I know that name? Jimmy D's keeping his HK. Okay, Kevin, I will... you know, Kevin, I may not, I'm a bad friend. I may not have, actually, this has happened a lot with me. Jimmy D, too. I forgot to save Jimmy D's email, and he emailed me again, and I forgot to save it again. I may not have your email, Kevin, but I will get it to you through other channels. I think, actually, you know what? I may have your phone number. If I have your phone number, I'll just call you. Yeah, Anvil, that's it. Yeah, the CZs, those Czechs, man, they make a great weapon. Adam Halliday says EM4. Route. When learning to shoot, use earmuffs and earplugs and a 22 pistol to start. That's pretty good advice. Have you seen the flashbang holster? I have not, Jimmy. Burn, you are amazing at your ability to research stuff. That's funny. All right, Baby Lady said she can play the video. Oh, can't play the video, but she can chat, and Track Rock can chat, but we're able to watch. Can't chat, but they're able to watch the feed on his laptop. See, you guys are the perfect pair. Peanut butter and jelly. And the property includes a guest apartment, says Baby Lady. King David says not to shield, get the regular M&P compact 9mm. Rob, what is it that's out of your price range?
The property.
Oh, the property. Okay. I haven't seen the price. I can promise you it's worth it. It's out of my price range too, though, or I actually would be trying to get it. Ashley, by the way, love your guys' channel. Keep up the quality work. Thank you, Ashley. David wants a basement. Oh, we lost. We lost some. We skipped some stuff, guys. So I'm sorry.
There it was.
My little brother has 3 Beretta Cats with flip-up barrels, 22 long rifle, 25 AC. I've messed around with those flip-up Berettas, Frank, and they're decent. Sir's Laugh or Senior's Laugh says Smith & Wessons are very stiff to rack the slide and loading the magazines. 380 auto with full step and power under a 9mm. 45 not as accurate with a shorter of effective range than a 9mm. That's what everyone forgets about the 45 is, yeah, it hits like a freight train within the first, you know, however many feet, but it really dies after a certain range. My wife loved her Taurus Millennium 9mm, and people are raving about the Gen 2. A lot of people are liking that Taurus, Anvil. Ashley Lawson likes the G2 Research Civic Duty Self-Defense. Keltec 30. Jimmy D does not like the Anvil. You will never, ever, ever have to guess what Jimmy D thinks. Oh, Sweet Liberty says she just bought it, and ooh, it was the Smith & Wesson Shield, I believe you said you just got, Sweet Liberty. Haven't used it yet. It was recommended. I'm sorry I can't give any info on it yet. Appreciate what you were able to tell us. Baby Lady's talking about the property. 2 garages with space for 4 cars, and boy, this thing is going quick. Burden's still looking at the property too. Admit it, Burden, you want it. Galen's wife works for the United States Forestry Service. Sweet. Cruising timber, range con, I don't know if that's range conservation, fire, and biology. She's kind of a Jackie of all trades. Speaking of Desert Eagle, a Car 9mm or 380, not bad. They make the Eagles now. Car makes the Desert Eagles? I had no idea. I thought it was still Israeli military industries. Huh, that's going to require a mental shift for me. It's a good move for car. I know why they did it, but I had not heard that. That's impressive. Chief, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, sir. You just used to bring much joy. I'm sorry, you still bring much joy, but you used to bring laughter and joy. You can get a witness for under $300. Hey, Alexis, thank you for joining us, man. We appreciate it. What are you studying for? Are you still in high school?
College.
I know. All right, Burden brings up the Second Amendment support rallies this Saturday. Let's go ahead and plug those again. Someone was supposed to post us a link, but maybe we're not able to post links. I don't remember now. Someone give us a website where people can look it up. There are Second Amendment rallies this Saturday in every state capital. Very important. It looks like they're at 2 o'clock. Cajun, thank you for stopping. You have a good night, sir. I need to go too. I told Moriah we weren't going to go past 10. Yeah, Frank, every state capital is supposed to be having them.
Look at that, you got caught up.
We got caught up. How about that? Oh, no, there it goes. It's gone. Chief can't make it to the Capitol. Yeah, Chief, I'm going to talk about maybe doing little local rallies. I think we're going to try to do one here locally. Jayus is still with us.
He says it's just juice.
Oh, is it just juice? I'm sorry. What's that running down my back? Juice, juice. Alexis is finishing up a BSN in nursing. Good on you, Alexis. That is a career field that is dying for people. My mom is a director of, I think it used to be called director of nursing, but I think now they call it director of healthcare services at a nursing home. And it is getting scary with the staffing. People, if you're a little older, you might want to think about dying at home. The nursing home situation is getting scary with the staffing. There's just not people who are willing to do the work or able to do the work. So thank you, Alexis. Okay, David says every state capital except Arizona. They couldn't get a permit, so it's a few blocks away. 1,400 in the east, 1,300 in the Midwest, and so on. So they're at the same time. So it's 2 o'clock Eastern Standard, 1 o'clock, and yada, yada, yada. Unarmed or armed? Frank, always armed. Every day, everywhere. Anvil says he'll be in prison this weekend, so I can't make any rallies. I'm assuming that means you're in law enforcement, Anvil. I would imagine in Ohio many will be open carrying. I would imagine they would be too. Folks, I think this is probably a great place to stop it. We appreciate you spending this time with us. I always enjoy these. I'd like to do more of them, but I would probably overdo them. You guys do all the talking anyway. All I do is sit here and read what you say. But they're always a blast, and I really appreciate everyone coming out, especially our moderators. I will try to list everyone, which means I will try to list everyone. I saw Burden. I saw Bill was with us. Jimmy D was with us. Kevin was with us. Musicwell and Texan. I think those last three are our only moderators on the streams. I should probably make them permanent moderators. If I ever think about it and get around to it, I will ask them if they are willing to. Oh, KV Moley just caught us. Hey, KV. Good night, Ken. Thank you. Lions Cornwall says save up for the Glock 43. You missed all that about the Glock earlier, Lions. I'm emotionally constipated when it comes to the Glock. I just can't get past it. Ashley FN 509. Well, KV, we'll hold on for a second. We pre-one up. Do you conceal carry or carry at all, KV? Hey, thanks, Chief. Sorry about the quality. I think it's our internet. I apologize. All right. Wolf Walker has a small friend who likes the Shield. Lots of people liking the Shield. Hey, Musicwell. We don't plan them too regularly. We thought about doing them every Saturday night. Step One Survival does one every Saturday night, and we would, be trying to compete with his much bigger. He's got a better beard. I mean, that's just what it boils down to. The guy's got an amazing beard, and it's flaming red. I suspect he dyes it. I don't know for sure, but I suspect he dyes it. Is that Caddy? I'm kidding. I don't think he dyes his beard. But you can't compete with that giant red flaming beard of his. So we're not going to do them every Saturday night. I know a work night like this doesn't really work. This was the night we could do it. We had an interesting topic. We had tried to do this in a video format, and it just didn't work. We weren't able. We didn't have you know, Mariah's not up enough on this for it to work. It was silly for me to talk about it without her since it you know, it concerns her. So the dynamic wasn't there. So we thought the live stream would be the way to do it. Music Well says him and his wife both carry 9mm.
You see Kate.
But Katie. Not legal in my country. Oh, what to say? No comment. Well, country that is too then, Katie. Gluer likes the Glock 26. Lots of people like that Glock 26, Gluer. Shotgun auto, she can't miss. Yeah, no, that's true. Music Well likes the 9mm. King David still likes that M&P. Springfield XDS 9mm. Lots of people like that Springfield Ashley. KV says France. Oh, cool. I hadn't. Well, anyway, I would like to go to France for a host of reasons. I was in the Mediterranean and we just didn't get to hit France. I don't think we were welcome, to be honest with you. I think at that time, this was 1997, I think, and we were in the Med with the, I think it was the 26th Mule. I can never remember which Mule I was with, the 24th or the 26th, but I believe it was the 26th. It might have been the 24th. I don't remember. And I don't think France was letting us in their ports back then. I think there was some bad blood at the time. That's all right, though. I still eat French fries, KV. I was on the freedom fry kick for a little while, but I got off it. I'm back on French fries. Mark says he used to feel the exact same way about Glocks, and I shot one and couldn't miss. Several gun trades went on in that week, I'll tell you. I have heard that about Glocks, Mark, that the people shoot them and they just get one over. Bluer like the 26 at the range. Ashley CZB. Ashley's just an encyclopedia of firearms. KV likes the Glock 26. That puts you in very good company, KV. Music Well carries the regular Smith & Wesson M&P. She has the compact. Good Swiss cheese machine these auto shotguns are. I think we're going to have to let KV be the cheese expert for the evening, Gluer. I'm sorry, nothing personal. That was a cheap shot, KV. I apologize. Stop by, and I'm a great cook. I don't doubt that, Katie. King David likes the compact. David Burden, the plan is to show the gun grabbers an idea of what kind of numbers they are up against, and I hope that it is massive. You ever seen, I'm just going to go here, you know, that little David Hogg kid is sort of limp wrist Nazi salute, whatever he was doing. I have never in my life, I was afraid that tiny little fist was going to snap his arm in two. That was the skinniest arm I've ever seen in my life. It's as tiny as that little fist was. It looked like an apricot tied to the end of a string or something. I have no idea how it was staying straight up. That kid bothers me. Just got here. What did you say? Hey, Joes, we haven't got it yet. That's what we were talking about. Lots of folks are the consent piece shield. Earlier on in the evening, there's some talk about revolvers. The consensus seemed to shift as the evening went on. I'll tell you what we're looking at right now, fan, and I'm not even going to apologize about that. I've loved them for years. I'm looking at the LCR. I love the LCR, and either 38 or maybe 327. That's probably just the gun geek in me talking. We're thinking about the LC 380, and I have not written off the 9mm yet, for a whole host of reasons. If I had a semi-auto pistol 9mm, I think the 9mm would win hands down. I do not. Interesting little side fact. This applies to the 9mm and the 380 can both be shot out of 357 revolvers under some circumstances. I don't know if there's like adapters for every 357 revolver or not, but the bullets are the same diameter, so they can fit down the barrel. And there's ways people have come up with to keep them in the cylinder without the rim. And you can shoot the 9mm out of a 357, although I have been told the accuracy is horrific. Rob, hey Rob, how's it going? IWI has a striker fired Glock clone now too, the Mossad. Huh. It's that tiny chin I want to smash. Everything about that kid just bugs me. He wasn't even there in the school that day. I mean, he was at home, and he heard about it on social media and jumped on his bicycle and rode 3 miles as an ambulance chaser with his camera to try to advance his career. The kid bothers me. I think that Hog Kid is part of the Hitler Youth. Did you see that YouTube video where they dubbed the Hitler speech over his speech? It was funny. Kavy says it all depends on her wrist, really. Okay, David got us a link up. Thank you, David. This is the link for the Second Amendment rallies. If you follow that link, it'll tell you about your state. MMP 2.0 is bad. I missed that. KV says whatever's the most comfortable and likely practice with and enjoy learning with. And that's completely true, KV. You know, we can talk about the best tactical choice, but what is she actually going to want to spend some time with and get comfortable with? And all the head knowledge and book learning in the world isn't going to answer that question. She's just got to spend some time with a gun. Smith & Wesson 5-shot. Hey, who me? How you doing, sir? Titanium Bodyguard, best choice for women. That is a good one. It's being sponsored by the National Constitution Coalition of Patriotic Americans. The National Constitution Coalition of Patriotic Americans. That sounds like a Ray Stevens song. Oh yeah, Frank, that revolver. Yeah, I know the one you're talking about that shoots the 35 calibers. Costs $4,000 and they don't make it anymore. Cool revolver though. Kevin Purrier is talking about the Hitler Youth and the Stalin Youth. They didn't call them the Stalin Youth. They called them something else, the Communist Youth or something. But now you're going to get me off on a rant here. They want your children, people. They want your children, and that I will not blush or blink or back off from that one iota's worth. They want your children, partly because they can't have their own children, or won't have their own children, or didn't have their own children until it was too late. Partly because the children they do have, they've turned into whack jobs. Adam Lanza, David Hogg, the Parkland weirdo kid, I can't Cruz. I mean, you see what they've done with their kids. Now they want to come after our kids. Night, baby. And that is why we can't give up the guns, because when the guns are gone, just like happened in Russia or the Soviet Union, just like happened and everywhere else, these morons take over. I read something interesting the other day. The Russian Revolution wasn't done by the Bolsheviks, by the communists. It was this broad-based throughout the people, and there was this highly armed militia that had done a lot of the fighting. And when the Bolsheviks did a coup on the revolution, and they told this militia to show up and be counted and turn in their weapons or something. Anyway, the militia turned in their weapons, and then the Bolsheviks just killed them all, like 10,000 guys. And like it took them 3 days to do it all, but they killed these 10,000 guys who'd been this militia who had done most of the revolution. And then the Bolsheviks, went and turned it all communist and everything. But the Russian Revolution was done by the militia, and then the libs came in and took it over, and did a gun grab, and killed everyone, and then of course horrific horror and suffering resulted. The Soviet Union in the early years was a horrific place. But yeah, no, they take your guns and then they take your children. And tell me I'm crazy, tell me I'm a conspiracy theorist, tell me I got my tinfoil hat on, but that has been the modus operandi from the word go. All right, what did I miss? Music while I started ruckus. You did. You got me hot music. Well, Gluer, what bothers me most is I don't get it. I will never get it. I do not understand how you can reconcile those two things. Gluer. Mountain Man agrees. The SR9 Turkish 9mm are not bad either. I saw some Turkish handguns at this gun show on Sunday that didn't seem like they were too awful. I was impressed. I can't remember what they were called though. Burden, yes, homeschool if you possibly can. Ron Paul will help you with free curriculum too. I did not know that. We may have to look into Dr. Paul's curriculum. Yes, KV. Every revolution there is you know, KV, one of the reasons I want to go to France is I am fascinated with the French Revolution. I mean, I have read 2,000-page books on it. I don't know if you're familiar with the Revolutions podcast, but he talks about revolutions, and I've listened to all the episodes of the French Revolution. It is fascinating to me how the French Revolution and the American Revolution were so similar in so many ways and came out to such different results. I love looking at the contrast between those two things. To me, the French Revolution is the linchpin for modern history. I mean, the modern world for me, and I'm sure you've heard this before, KV. I'm trying to show how smart I think I am. You know, the old saying that the modern world started in the sewers of Paris. It is not completely false. I really do believe the modern world began with the French Revolution. You could make the argument that it began with the American Revolution, but the American Revolution was really just an extension of the English Revolution. And the French Revolution really had these themes of modernity and, you know, reason and equality and you know, the American Revolution was still very much rooted in religious principles and whatnot. So the French Revolution for me marks this giant break with the past and sort of set the mold for the future going forward. Fascinating period of history. Incredibly complicated and intricate and interwoven and just amazing stuff. Kevin, you guys homeschool, right? Hey, Spike's Tactical Ashley, yes, they make some really high-end ARs if I remember correctly. Whatever weapon you end up with, getting Moriah, be safe and practice. Well, I tell you what, Burden, you know what? You owe me a visit. Come down here and make sure I'm doing it right. Magna Carta and Guy Fawkes for the win. KV, are you actually French or are you?
He's English.
You're English. Okay. All right. Well, then I'll use my English joke, and you've heard this one too. You know, the definition of heaven is what the English meet you at the door, the French prepare the meals, and the Germans run the trains. And the definition of hell is when the Germans meet you at the door, the French run the trains, and the English cook. I know you said you're a good cook. Ashley Lawson just got a battle-worn Roadhouse 308 from them. It's glorious AR-10. And AR-10 is my dream weapon, Ashley. I said you have fantastic taste in weapons, and you do. I would love to have an AR-10. Brother Revolt, as a question, as a Marine vet, I assume you saw some action. My question to you is 9mm ball ammo as ineffective in combat as I hear in many cases? It is. Well, I shouldn't say this. The people who have seen combat would tell me I am an idiot for saying this, but I have always regretted that I didn't actually ever see any action. I was in Haiti. I was in Bosnia. I was technically part of the Kosovo campaign. I was in the infantry. You can tell I'm making excuses for myself. But I guess I was just so scary every time I showed up, the shooting stopped. I'm kidding. I never did get into. I was even recalled. This is crazy. I was even recalled after September 11th. Like, I reported in early November 2001. I was one of the first guys called back, and I still didn't get to see any action. I actually didn't even leave the States that time. So I can't claim to be a combat vet. I wouldn't do that. You know, obviously stolen honor is a terrible thing. So I can't speak from experience. I will say this: ball ammunition, in my opinion, gets a very bad rap that I don't think it deserves. You know, people act like with this whole, you know, stopping power, you know, killing power debate. People act like if you shoot someone with a certain caliber, you know, they're gonna, you know, brush it off and get up and go on. And everyone's favorite example is the Filipino warriors who were getting shot with 38 revolvers of some kind, and getting up and coming and still killing the American soldiers. So we had to switch to the 45. There's nothing wrong with ball ammunition. Shot placement is everything. I read an article one time a long time ago in one of the outdoor magazines that was talking about this debate, and they were talking about two Forestry Service personnel who got mauled by a grizzly bear. Both of them were killed by the grizzly bear. And the story, as I remember, right, one of them unloaded a hunting rifle in the thing. One of them unloaded a 12 gauge at it. They both unloaded their sidearms into it, and it still got both of them. And then it talked about another story where an old lady, a grandmother, shot one with a 22 long rifle, and it dropped dead first shot. Shot placement is everything. So there you go. Do with that what you will. I certainly would not stand still and laugh at somebody who was shooting me with 9mm ball ammunition. KV Moley says, hell is where the police are German, the lovers are Swiss, and the chefs are British, the mechanics are French, and everything is run by the Italians. That's better. I like your version better, KV. Kevin says, anyone is interested in any good free internet homeschool program that even tests the levels of education of your kids, try Moldy Max. We use more hands-on get out. I think your comment got cut off, Kevin. Oh, get out of the house to learn style. Okay, I see. 38 to the central torso, pretty much over. Yes, Ashley. The Filipinos were shot with 38 long Colt. After that, they switched to the more powerful 38 special. Sorry, you got. Hey, Cheryl's with us. How you doing, Cheryl? Cheryl homeschooled in Texas before it was common. No problems. How many kids did you homeschool? You told me one time, Cheryl, and I remember you had 2 or 3 sons, maybe 4 sons. I forget now. Hey, Mountain Man, no way a 22 won't penetrate a grizzly. She shot him in the hide, though, Mountain Man. She might have shot him in the mouth, for all I know. That's just how I remember the story, though. You may be completely right. Cheryl carries a Smith & Wesson 642 38 special. Rob Painless, we have homeschooled our daughter since the first day. Our oldest is 17 now. Banner Boy likes 38. Best choice, same power as 9mm. David's flirting with Cheryl. KV, you might have an answer for me. Sure who you're talking to, KV. Fill me in, because I missed something. Okay, Cheryl, it's 2 girls, 2 boys. All right. Mountain Man says it don't matter, bro. No, I mean, it's an anecdote. It's something I remember from a magazine I read in a waiting room somewhere when I was a kid. So you're right. I very likely have the story wrong. It was something like that, though. And I'm sorry if that came across as adversarial, Mountain Man. I didn't mean to be a jerk. I was just bantering. I wonder if Joey's still with us. Are you still with us, Josiah? I haven't been in the military yet. You're eligible to. Ooh, Kenneth, I would actually side with Banner on that 38 special situation there. The 38 special is a bit more than the 380, and here's what you remember: the 380 is 85 to 90 grain bullet. Oh, I don't remember the feet per second off the top of my head, but I believe it's in the 1,000 feet per second range. And the 38 special is usually anywhere from 115 to 125 grain. I may have that 115, that lower end wrong, but usually 125 is about the top end. And I think it's normally in the 900 to 1,100 feet per second range. So the 38 special is, I would say, is a step above the 380. But now I may have that wrong too. Katie Moley, we recently picked up an FAL 7.62 by 51. Yeah, no, you're definitely safe. It may or may not function. I'm sorry. I guess when you say safe, will it function the semi-auto action? I would not think it would function the rifle. Subsonic rounds, they just don't have a lot of gas behind them, and there's not always enough gas to work that, especially that piston-driven FAL. Lots of times with the subsonic rounds, you have to have a silencer on there to make the back pressure, to raise the back pressure enough to get it to function. So I do not think it would reliably function unless I don't know the fall well enough to know if it's got a gas key that you can mess with or not. Maybe if you can tune the gas key. I know you can get adjustable gas keys if it does not have an adjustable gas key. But that might be some gunsmithing beyond what you're comfortable. I got to be honest with you, I had never heard of Subsonic 308 before, so you've taught me something. All right, I'm missing a bunch of stuff, and I apologize, guys. People say wild things about what bullets will and won't do, but I have killed deer and hogs with a 22 long rifle. Hey, thank you, Kevin. Rob, not that I can remember. It was painless. It was painless. That's funny. Frank Petrie, I'll never give up my 38 special. Alright, Kenneth is saying most 38 specials I've seen about at 900 feet per second. Just check out penetration tests between a 38 special and 9mm on YouTube. Then again, to be honest, I don't have a lot of personal 38 experience. Paul Harrell is always the best one to go do in these cases, in my opinion. He makes the best videos, almost hands down. He's like the best gun channel on YouTube when it comes to actually, talking sense. He's not as entertaining as Demolition Ranch, obviously, but he really has good information. And I bet you, if we went and looked, he probably has a 38 special versus 9mm video. Cheryl has killed the hog with the 22. Cheryl, you are something else. Banner Boy, 129 grain versus 158 grain. More power. I've lost the thread of that conversation, Banner, and I apologize. Smith & Wesson 500 with a 400. Mountain Man, I have shot that gun. When it first came out, I had two buddies. One who was a gun guy and just loved guns. The other who'd never shot a gun in his life. The one who'd never shot a gun in his life said he wanted the most intimidating revolver he could think of. If he just showed it to someone, they'd scare him so much they wouldn't have to use it. Sort of the whole theory of rack. The other guy just really liked guns. I shot them both. They were 4-inch barrels. They were ported. And when they first pulled them out and showed them to me, I swear to God, I thought it was the cartoon gun off of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. If you remember that. I mean, it was just stupid. And you pick them up in your hand, and it's just ridiculous. And I shot it the first time, and I said to myself, if I ever had to shoot this thing in a crowded parking garage, any kind of enclosed space, I would probably get me killed, because I would think twice before I pulled the trigger to try to figure out if whatever that guy was going to do to me was as bad as what that gun was going to do to me. That was the most ferocious blowback I've ever experienced on a handgun. You felt the concussion. But I was shooting the front of a truck with it, and it went, I don't remember all the penetration. We shot that truck a lot. But I was shooting the truck with it, and we were shooting lead semi-wad cutters or something stupid. And I couldn't believe how far we were shooting it through the grill. And if I remember correctly, it was going through like the firewall and into the cab or something stupid. The gun was stupid. And as heavy as it is, why wouldn't you just carry a rifle? I don't know. But it was kind of fun. Not so serious. First, hello. My wife's home firearm is a 6-inch GP 100. Shoots 357 Magnum, but she puts 38 special, 130 grain. It's the only handgun she loves. No recoil. Keep well. Thank you, sir. You know what? I love the GP 100. The GP 100 is what I was looking for when I got my Security 6. I love my Security 6. And I bet those 38 specials in a 6-inch barrel does not move at all. Hey, Rat Route. On 10 May 1953, Bella Twin was hunting small game with a 22, but then she had to kill a grizzly. Cool. Can you give us the source on that, Rat Route? Thank you for finding it. Anyone know how to hide these danged emojis? Langley Fire, good penetration test. I have not watched any of their videos, but I've noticed their channel. Any of those would be great for stopping a man or bad intruder to her. David will be praying that we get the M&P 9mm compact. Gluer was about to mention Paul Harrell. No, thank you, KV. Anything gun related, I love. Yeah, pick up a box and try it. I mean, what's it going to hurt, Little 25 or 32 revolver. Wow, Ashley, you went from the one extreme down to the other. Now you're trying to get me to get a 25 Raven. Kenneth likes Paul Harrell. Anyone debated leftist on gun control? I try not to even talk to leftists. Moriah hasn't done much shooting. A smaller caliber would be great to get comfortable with using one. My wife qualified with a 9mm semi-auto, but most often carries her .32 Kel-Tec. Huh. Yeah, no, KV, it won't damage the gun. But if you had to rely on the gun, it might not cycle the gun. Yeah, and it won't cycle. You'll have a single shot. And if you watch some of my AR-15 videos, you'll find out that is not entirely a unique situation. I need to update those. Braden is his name at Langley Firearms Academy. Prep show. I will take for my women 6. Your women? How many do you have? You intrigue me, sir. Kevin, we might need to get this man's contact information. I will take for my women Sig Sauer 232 or Smith & Wesson J frame. Heard a lot of good things about that J frame. King David, have a good night, sir. Thank you. Humi carried. I'm assuming that maybe it was supposed to be GP 100. Humi. Best overall gun made, but too big for a woman to carry in purse. Alrighty. Revolvers are great, no jams. I like mine and it's small enough to conceal it easily. I really am leaning towards a revolver, Cheryl. And I like that LCR. Alright guys, I hate to cut this short, but I do have to be at work at 6 in the morning. And as much as I would stay up and do this all night if I could. But we appreciate you. We will let you know what comes out of all this. The decision may not be made this weekend, but I promise everyone I will look into the M&P Shield. And I'll be honest with you, I'm sorry the Glock is not going. The SIG and the Kimber and the H&Ks would all be dream options, but they're also going to be a little more pricier than maybe we can afford right now. You guys are still being interesting. Stop being interesting. Okay, Rat, thanks. You just have to search it. You know what? I might look that up and do a video on it. Good night, Katie. Yes, Ashley. There's a lot of 7 and 8 shot revolvers right now, and Ruger makes the Red Hawk in I believe it's an 8-shot 357 Magnum, and I am in deep lust for it. Deep lust. Yeah, she's an impressive woman all the way around, Frank. I was very blessed when I got her. Thank you, Kenneth. Good night. No thinking with a revolver, and that's a really good point, Banner Boy. Night, Ashley. Good night, not so serious, Gluer. Good night, Cheryl. Thank you. Good night, Frank. We appreciate you guys. Have a good one. See if I can figure out how to stop this thing now. Here we go again. This happened the last time.
Right to the ceiling.